there will be chapters in this video, and everything that I will discuss in this video will be in the description below, so that way you can check out the sources and come to your own independent conclusion. Now, everything I'll be discussing will also be very biased because I only know one side of the story, not both sides of the story, so keep that in mind. And last but not least, I didn't think I'd be a drama tuber, but here I am. So, it begins with Straub entering Mizu's Discord server. Nothing wrong with that. Straub enters Discord server, but then later on, Straub posts a picture of her talking to a wall in the Discord server. Okay, one thing leads to another, and Straub and Mizu are talking to each other one-on-one in DMs. Turns out that Straub has beef with Mizu because of Mizu's comment on one of Rima's YouTube videos, which prompted the attitude towards Mizu from Straub. And so Mizu basically asks, did I do something wrong? What did I do that constituted you to be rude to me or give me attitude? And apparently, according to Mizu, this was Straub's response. Try to figure it out. Respectfully, I don't have time to sit through and explain to you how you were being mean. Maybe insert your messages into Grok and ask him how they could come across as mean to someone. It could be a good opportunity for some reflection. After that, Mizu then goes to ChatGPT and states that ChatGPT will be their sacred scroll scribe. In the screenshots provided in this X post, Mizu says, ChatGPT, write all my messages to ensure they're not mean and aggressive. And this is regards to the whole thing with Straub and yada yada. Fast forward, Mizu is now in this situation where they're talking about the theme of Rima's YouTube video and saying that in this case, if you don't think like me, you're morally wrong. And this is in regards to the whole theme that Rima's YouTube video covers. And further on in the X post, Mizu says, you think it's okay to take the side of the aggressor with no evidence, but that people need evidence to believe in innocent until proven guilty. And the point that Mizu is trying to convey, according to Mizu, is that people are innocent until proven guilty. That's the whole point. Now, Straub responds and says, I can't believe someone would unironically say this. In this case, if you don't think like me, you're morally wrong. Mizu says that that whole thing that Straub just did was pulled from the X post that Mizu made, right here. Quoted, word for word. So Mizu then responds, saying, hey, anonymous person of interest, I had ChatGPT help me write this to make sure the tone stays respectful and constructive. It is a response to the whole thing that Straub did. There's a lot of stuff, so I'll just read the first sentence of every paragraph. So in the first paragraph, Mizu says, it seemed like things have been settled with our mutual friends, so I was a little surprised to see you stepping in on their behalf. When you joined my Discord and made some comments, they came off as passive-aggressive, and that didn't feel fair to me, which is the first sentence of the second paragraph. First sentence of the third one, I'm still open to having a calm and honest conversation, and then ends the X post response with a repost of, I can't believe someone would unironically say this, which was quoted from Straub, which then goes into the whole, in this case, if you don't think like me, you're morally wrong, which was quoted from Mizu. Now, Straub responded to this and says, before Mizu makes a whole drama stream on me tonight over petty personal drama lol, yes, I went into his Discord, that I didn't know was his Discord, by the way, because I was told people were saying really awful things about my friend in that server. Mizu then responds to that whole X post that Straub did. I love that she put them in a reply to a random third party instead of right after a main tweet so no one is seeing it lol. Which is the DMs that Straub posted. Straub posted the DMs between Mizu and herself publicly, so that's a whole thing there. And then Rev comes in and defends his wife, saying, this is my first and only statement to these people. They have been hounding me on social media for years, hoping to make me support them on various drama. And then further on in the X post, but here they are, targeting my wife for saying no to them when they attempted to slander another creator. That's the response. It's a whole deal. I'm just giving you just a surface level glance of that. Now, I bet you're wondering, Godfred, why are you bringing this up? What's this? Why are you showing me this? What caused this? And I'm really glad you asked, because lo and behold, the reason why this happened was because of the Sinder situation. Yes, that's right. It is because of the Sinder situation. So, early on, after, kind of right after the whole Sinder situation, Rima makes a YouTube video on it, right? She makes a YouTube video. By the way, she has 101,000 and counting subscribers, and makes a YouTube video on the Sinder situation, to which Mizu replies, "Man, I like Rina, but this video is pretty terrible. Just a one-to-one retelling of anti-Sinder's side with no investigation whatsoever." And this was an opinion that Mizu posted on X, which, by the way, Mizu says is deleted off X because it was a type of olive branch to Rima, because if the X post really bothered Rima, Mizu was like, fine, I'll take it down or something like that. So that's what Mizu said. But this whole situation, this whole drama, started because of Mizu's opinion, which held no ill intent. It was just an opinion on Rima's YouTube video on the Sinder situation. Now, I want to reference an X post that was made on May 6th, right after the whole Sinder situation ended, right? And people were still reeling about it. In this X post, Comrade makes a final statement regarding the Sinder situation. And one of the biggest things here is that, according to Comrade, the only thing this situation has taught us, the Sinder situation, is that it's okay to ruin someone's life over any slight done to you. That it's okay to damage anyone's career that they ever said or did anything bad to you. That it's fair to dish out disproportionate punishment to anyone you don't like the moment you find a reason. It teaches us that as long as you have the numbers, your side is in the right. Goes on to say in this X post, people might think I'm exaggerating using hypotheticals, but since the start of the month, which is only 5 days ago, which was May earlier this year, I've already seen various VTubers dropping 6 different Google Docs and various dumbass disputes, including the one by Powder. You'll see more and more of those soon. It's now a trend and the right thing to do in any fight or dispute. Because that's the power of VTubers like Shy Lily and her clique. People will copy and emulate them. They are an example that many of the smaller VTubers follow almost religiously. And the example they set for us last week isn't a pretty one. You'll see it in the days to come. And personally, I would agree with Comrade. Because remember how Nano leaked DMs of her conversations with Sinder's former manager Redacted? Yeah, no, Straub did the same thing, posting her and Mizu's DMs to the public. You could say it's not connected, Godfred. They're not copying Lily. Like, there's no evidence of that. You're right. But Nano leaked DMs to the public, and Straub leaked DMs to the public. May not be connected, but they're doing the same thing. And it's pretty bad. And then another thing, right? Apparently, Mizu's opinion offended Rima and Straub so badly that they basically did something about it. For example, Straub going after Mizu in the Discord server and saying things, right? Making narratives. According to Mizu. Same thing here. Apparently, Rima, I assume is Rima, mentioned like, they have this thread and whatever in the Discord server and about 6,000 messages about me. They're vile, they're horrible. Right? That's what Rima's saying here, as far as I understand, and interpret from this YouTube video that we're looking at right now. But here's what Mizu says.
1,000 replies are about her. She absolutely get pulled in there that have Rima somewhere in them. There are exactly 550 mentions of RIMA in our entire Discord across everything. I have no idea where she got 6,000 replies are about her.
Rima says there's 6,000 replies about her, right? But Mizu's like, in my Discord server, there's only like 550 mentions of Rima. RIMA. So, as you can see, or the narrative that I'm trying to give you, it seems like Straub and Rima didn't like Mizu's opinion, and they were doing something about it, saying certain narratives about Mizu. While Mizu is a small content creator, Mizu has only over 2,000 subscribers compared to Rima. Mizu is a small-time creator. And that further proves my point with Comrade, where you're right as long as you have the numbers, apparently, because, as we saw, Rima had a narrative about how there's 6,000 messages about her in Mizu's Discord server or whatever, but according to Mizu, there's like only 550 mentions of Rima in the Discord server. Who knows, maybe there's like some outliers out there, a lot probably, but mind you, again, this is covered with one side of the story. Didn't hear the other side of the story. But even though this is biased, the point I'm trying to make right now is that the Sinder situation, the actions that Lily Bao and Nano did, have far more reach than we initially thought. Because Mizu, Rima, Straub, Rev says Desu, they were not directly involved in the Sinder situation, yet they were affected. Mizu more so, because Straub confronted Mizu about it passive-aggressively, from what I understand, and then Rima apparently didn't like Mizu's response, so what was it, like, they got into a fight over it, according to Mizu. They got into a fight, a big fight. And it just shows that if you do something small, if you offend someone, like a little tiny bit, then it's okay to, like, target someone and, like, say narratives against them. That's what this drama shows to me. And it further proves Comrade's point. It's bad. It just shows that, like, if you have the numbers, you're right, and if they do something bad to you, you have every right to do disproportionate punishment to said person that offended you slightly. It is a horrible and disgusting practice. That is why I say that what Lily, Nano, and Bao have done is a stain on the reputation of content creators in the general content creation sphere. Because this situation didn't just affect the VTubing community, it affected the content creation sphere in general. Whether out of intention or negligence, their actions put the public into a frenzy. They dragged the public into their should have been private skirmish, and whether they liked it or not, whether they meant to or not, weaponized their communities against Sinder. Then we have communities fighting each other. We have VTubers like, excuse me, like benefiting from this, like, and becoming more toxic to each other. After the Sinder situation, I covered in a YouTube video where the VTuber was like, unfollow this person because X, Y, and Z, or this VTuber vague posting because X, Y, and Z. It overall made the VTuber space less safe, more toxic. And it's a horrible thing to see. Sure, you can say that Sinder did bad. We get that. Redacted, slandering other creators behind people's back. The exclusivity deal they were trying to make. But it didn't go through because guess what? Nano stepped back from it, so nothing happened. Nothing happened. The whole thing with Rain, right? The whole thing with Spite. The whole thing with, like, Silverveil, like, that stuff, right? Those are bad things, right? By the way, there was literally no, like, evidence of sabotage. There isn't. People say there was, but if you look at the screenshots, there isn't. It's subjective. But if you compare the bad that Sinder did, right? Which is bad, don't get me wrong. Like targeting Silverveil, doing stuff, like targeting an OC and all that stuff. Like, Sinder did bad, right? But when you compare the bad things that Sinder and Redacted did to the harm that Lily Bao and Nano caused, when you think about it, sure, yeah, we took down someone that was fake, yeah, horrible person, yeah. They did that at the cost of the safety of the VTuber space. They did that at the cost of having communities fight each other over this. Like, really bad. The cost of people whose Oshi no longer is on the platform right now, and who knows if she's going to come back. So people are affected by this. We have literally people that's not directly involved, like Mizu, and they're being affected by this. Think about it, right? Sinder did bad. Okay, we can list the stuff that Sinder did bad, right? But if you compare it to what the harm and damage that Lily Bao and Nano caused, personally, I think they did worse.